It's been a quick transition from a really good performance the other day, unbelievable home crowd, to knowing we get an opportunity this week to play a really, really good football team. I think D'Amico's done an unbelievable job in a really short amount of time. They play the way I know he wants his football teams to play, and we've got a real big challenge for us coming off what was a physical football game, expected to be a physical game. They're really built about all the right things when you look at what wins in this league. They've got some really talented players. Quarterback is a special football player, as I've really gotten a chance to, for the first time, getting into some of the crossover tape is one thing, but when you've got a game plan around certain players, playing them that Sunday, unbelievable talent. CJ's off to such a great start in his career and has already become such a focal point of how you want to prepare defensively with what they bring to the table and really impact players at all three levels. And then offensively, I don't know if there's a better group of three receivers going right now as far as different skill sets, but super dynamic. They really have everything you're looking for. And you haven't even talked about the back, Schultz, or a really good O-line. So really big time challenge. We have to find a way to prepare similar to how we have the first 2 weeks of the season. We had a lot of time leading into the opener, and we knew, coming off that opener, how important it was to have a good week of preparation. Do we have the discipline to do it every single week is what I'm looking for this week from our football team. Want to just highlight Nick Muse early on in the football game did have a small fracture in his hand, and he will would require him, could play, but it would require him to wear a big old, cast on his hand and have that thing wrapped. So Nick's value as a blocker and a pass catcher for us on game day, we thought best to allow that thing to heal over the next 3 to 4 weeks. He was placed on short-term IR, which will allow us to get Myles Gaskin as our third back on the roster. And then I'll keep you guys posted about kind of what the plan of attack is at the tight end position as the week goes on. Really excited to be back at US Bank. Crowd was phenomenal. Need them again this Sunday, and we all know in this building, locker room, coaching staff, we all know how important and special our fans are, so we'll need them on Sunday. He did. File that under situational masters / play style. Yeah, look, nobody loves the positivity thing more than me, but this is about some real tangible things. In addition to that, playing the position the way that we feel in our offense with the players around Sam can lead to him having a lot of success. The vision for him started before he got here, and really has been something we have worked towards every single day, and it's still an ongoing thing. Adversity is going to hit just like it did the other day, and Sam's responded. Adversity is going to hit just like it did early on against the Giants, and Sam found a way to respond. I think the response to adversity is wired in Sam because of his quarterback journey, but it's our jobs, and I just want to make sure two things. Everybody understands just how much Sam is responsible for Sam being who he is as a Minnesota Viking, and secondly, the position coaches, Wes Phillips, Brian Flores on defense, really pushing him in training camp. I'd like to just make sure that everybody understands the impact that collectively as a whole, everybody's had on Sam. But make no mistake about it, this is Sam Darnold, and this is who I believe he is. And we're going to keep on trying to see if we can chase potential growth every single week. And challenges show up, every single week in this league with great defenses, how they play, how they're going to defend Justin. Hopefully at some point in the not-too-distant future, we'll start getting the Addison's back, and then hopefully Hawk after that. And then how does this thing look at that point for Sam is just an ongoing, evolving thing. But, it's always me with the positivity, I guess you should say, and everybody else is doing the work around him to help make it happen.
What's the attribute that allows him to adversity, playing that early against you guys in motion, from snowballing
Yeah.
And obviously, we've seen that in the NFL quarterback.
Yeah, the snowball effect, maybe no greater example than at the quarterback position. And you guys have heard me say this many, many times about myself, but had that not been a thing, maybe I wouldn't be standing here in front of you. I'd be on a warm beach somewhere, relaxing in retirement. But it is a real thing. And I think when I say his quarterback journey's kind of helped him with his immediate response to adversity, I think he's pulling from the long-term feeling of, shoot, it's another off-season of unknown, or it's, man, that game seemed really hard last Sunday, and we're playing against the number one defense in the league this Sunday, and it's going to be on me to figure that out. I'm hoping when he looks inward, he worries about, how do I do my job with great rhythm, timing, fundamentals, eye progression, and discipline, and then allow his talent, which I think we've all seen here in 2 weeks, really show up from throwing the football standpoint. I think that's real. But his immediate ability to kind of cope with that, cold splash of water of adversity, and let's go back out there, and each play is its own. The previous one, no matter how much sometimes that snowball effect makes it feel like it has an effect on the next play, it really doesn't, and we just got to go play. Yeah, I think the volume maybe of the different packages and the assortment maybe has gone up, but Flo's need to feel like he's got to call the game a certain way, whether it's being a little bit more sticky in the back end with our three corners playing the way they are, having those safeties and the versatility to play each game as its own, the disguise that comes with regular calls when you can line up and clearly show intent for one of those blitz packages you're speaking of, and then bringing it when we want to and kind of dictating from a standpoint that way. But to do that, you got to do the simple things right. You got to set edges, defeat blocks, play cutbacks, tackle well in space to eliminate kind of the hidden yardage that keeps offenses on schedule. And then I think we're doing a good job for the most part keeping the chunks off the tape of not letting the ball get thrown over our heads. And this is a team that does it as well as anybody and really changes the entire complexity of games with their ability to get those chunk plays. Yeah, I can't speak enough about just really from year one to year two is where Danielle and I really our relationship grew. The early part of training camp, that whole situation, spent a lot of time with him daily leading into him feeling good about last year, and then kind of as him and I had envisioned together, him going out there and just being lights out and having the opportunity to go find, if it wasn't going to be here, I wanted him to find a great place to go play and continue kind of what he did in 2023. And I think he found a great home, literally in his hometown. And, you just see him playing. It's the same guy that's just an absolute game wrecker, disruptor, playing really hard, physical. How they play really fits Danielle's skill set and how he can impact the game. And then I think he's going to be an unbelievable kind of mentor in that room to a really, really talented football player on the other side, and Will Anderson. So it feels like I know we're going to get in the habit of talking about either interior or these pass rushers every week, but that's what this league is now. And it's a challenge every single week, and Danielle's has to be a major focal point in our game plan. Yeah, fit is so huge, and really a vision for roles for players when you bring them here. And it can be an evolving thing. That's not like you put a ceiling on a guy, you're only going to do this, but you've got to have a vision for that, and that comes from Flo on that side of the ball, and collectively, all his position coaches, Kwesi's staff, and all of us getting together and talking about that. But I wouldn't discount the guys that are smart, tough, love football, and then also having a really clear vision of what their role is going to be, and then as the season goes on, how we expand upon those roles, and also have really good development of our younger players, and all of that's going on at the same time. And his staff, Flo and his staff, do a great job with that side of the ball. Yeah, I mean, whether it's JG, Cash, Shaq, we've got guys that have been there. I think there's going to be 5, maybe 6 guys that I've personally coached that are on that football team, maybe more, considering my coach journey. But what I would say is it's definitely something that, a lot of times these are good football players you're talking about at both spots. Both organizations are aware of the impact those guys can have on the game. And then what I think is the coolest part is just seeing the growth, the fit in the new destination. Danielle, Chris Boyd, some of these players that are thriving under D'Amico and the Texans. And then I'd like to think that JG, Cash and Shaq are doing the same things here. So it obviously is a part of it. We talked a lot about Sam last week with his year with the Niners. It's a part of it, but in the end, you just got to go play, and every snap is its own. And how many of them can you go win, regardless of whether you've played for the Texans or the Vikings or whatever it's been. Yeah, Justin will be, he took part, full participant in our walkthrough today. We'll probably, based upon kind of the minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour, Kevin, whether he's a participant today or not, hoping to get him a little bit more work throughout the week as we progress forward. And then I know Justin's very much looking forward to getting an opportunity to play. So if we can avoid any setbacks or things like that throughout the week, hoping to have them. But long way to go till Sunday. Jordan's kind of still in that day-to-day world where we just have to see how he responds, to whatever Tyler's got planned for him, and then what he's able to take part in with us, hopefully it progresses throughout the week. Yeah, I think first and foremost, the thing that stands out the most is his arm talent. I mean, this guy is making throws in and out of the pocket that the list, if you make a list of the guys capable of making some of the throws, it's not going to be a very long list that CJ makes. And then I think he's got, it's never, ever seems too big for him. From the first time he went out there to now, he seems incredibly prepared. So he's obviously got a great process throughout the week. The experience of playing and leading that team is only making him, more comfortable in his role. And then, I just think he's a guy that played in a lot of big games, been coached really well there. I know Gerard's doing a great job with the quarterbacks there in Houston. And I just, I can't say enough about what shows up to me on tape. I mean, I've been like everybody else. If it's on TV, we're not playing. I've seen him make a lot of big-time throws and plays in games. But then when you dive into the tape and you see the snap in and snap out impact he has, it's pretty remarkable for such a young player. Yeah, I remember hosting him for a formal at the Combine and then really diving into the tape and having, a relationship with Ryan Day from previously working with him. You just get a good feel for kind of what he's all about. And I remember feeling like this guy's got a chance to have probably the most immediate success of all the guys, just based upon he's big, he's strong, athletic, played in big games, arm talent, accurate. And then you just kind of watched it click for him. So I was not surprised at all. But what I will say is looking back on that and just the immediate impact he's had is very, very difficult to do in this league. Yeah, I think Ty really grew up a bunch down the stretch last year, from a standpoint of kind of assuming a bigger and bigger role really from week one on. We always wanted to have him involved in the game plans every week, but it just started to show up. And then he got a chance to really, with Al being down for, I believe, the Cincinnati game, he got really a chance to, be a featured guy, showed that he could handle all those carries, had a couple big catches in the game, and then showed a lot of the physicality, burst, athleticism that we really love about Ty. And he had a great offseason. Him and Aaron, it's very rare to not see Aaron and then see Ty. With CJ Ham somewhere in the mix there as well. So unbelievable makeup of the players. They're tough, they're smart. They fit, both those guys fit so well with what I'm hoping to continue to build and add to our roster, and then clearly very talented, impactful players.
Last one. So Ty had thrown that ball late. It looked like he was rearing back to throw and he got tackled. Was that have that option, or was I just seeing something?
Since you have the same color shoes on, I will answer this question. Ty did have the ability to throw the football. That was, trying to be aggressive. Just had kind of clicked under 4 minutes there, but we were really trying to eat clock that whole time. You'd seen us kind of a little bit of run pass there throughout that drive with some huge third down conversions. I think there was a 7, an 8, or a 9, and then we got one short there in the high red where we kind of just put it on BP. But I thought that was an opportunity right there, and it was totally on me because everybody, on that play, there still can be pass interference or illegal contact called when you pitch the ball backwards and have a potential, throw on there. And I had warned the officials before the game in our normal dialogue, but I got to do it in the moment just so they understand how to officiate the play. That's a tough play to officiate if you don't know, because just like the defense, you're hoping to kind of catch everybody off guard in that moment. I didn't do that, and it was my fault. During that time, I normally would have done that. It was more about reminders of, hey, we want to stay in bounds if we don't throw the ball. And I know Ty tried to potentially do that, but we ended up stopping the clock. But at that point, almost 7 minutes off the clock, we were ensuring points at that point. But aggressive, I want to try to be more aggressive in those moments, allow our guys to execute with total trust from me. It didn't work out then, but, stay tuned.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.